It's
And there's
crazy.
She's saving the cookie
I
for
can't
the
stand those
midnight
movies.
snack
The
tonight.
Christmas movie
Uh,
instead.
he said that you're saving the cookie for the midnight snack,
Yeah.
and you're in good company because her mind is very 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 dirty.
I
Damn.
can't wait till we all meet each other in the next. Probably, I
No,
bet you within
probably.
2 years we're
coming
gonna meet.
down.
I've got to probably happen,
Because I was
especially if
gone.
travel ever goes down. Do you have any schools in Minnesota?
No.
No, damn. None of that's just.
Yeah, it's a
What's it
travel thing.
called?
That's why. That's why. I mean, I'm my kid. Both my kids stayed out out the coast, and the wife's out there because of the flying.
That's true. You'll probably travel through by us before we travel through Minnesota. So the closest one would be Indianapolis.
Probably.
Come in, dude. Oh, Vega's all up in here. He's feeling Christmas.
I mean, we've got tons in Ohio.
Yeah.
We've
Well,
got,
he's all the
like,
way over. I mean,
3,
Minnesota.
But I'm saying to Minnesota.
Yeah, yeah.
What does she have? You talking about schools that she educates at with
She used
means
to
with?
educate. Now
Right.
she does the because her background is law, so she does regulation and compliance.
With
You can
physical
hear it,
schools?
right? Is my mic
Yeah,
turned
I
up?
can. Yeah, I
Okay.
can.
Yeah.
I don't know if she can hear me or not, but yeah, does she
No.
do physical? She meets with physical schools eventually.
Regulatory agencies.
She has team members that usually go all the trips to
Okay.
the schools, and then she oversees them, and she does do some schools whenever they're really bad or they're stretched really thin.
Does she know Oberlin College in Ohio?
Do you know Oberlin College in Ohio? Oberlin?
I mean, I'm aware of
She's
Oakland
aware of it.
College.
Oh, okay.
She's aware of it. So she started in law, but then I told you she got.
Mhm.
I think I told you that she kind of got burned out working for a law firm.
Yep.
In Hawaii of all places, and then I actually found her a job on Craigslist a
Part-time.
long time ago,
Teaching
part time,
part-time.
teaching. What was it?
Legal administrative assistant.
Yeah.
No.
Teaching them actual law. Teaching
Yeah.
them
Okay.
contract law, teaching them property law, criminal law, civil
That was your favorite
procedure.
class, huh? The
It
very,
was
very first
awesome
one.
because it was like
Damn.
the very core of like basically all the key classes that they teach you in law school is what I had to teach them because they were becoming paralegals.
She'd always wanted to teach, right? And
Sure, sure.
She'd even figured out, like, we had kind of gone through a transition after she quit law. We got into real estate right before the bubble burst. And that actually didn't take us out. We'd found a little niche. Our niche, we were going to flip HUD homes in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then actually Katrina hit. And that's when we were doing real estate. And when Katrina hit, they took every single HUD home we were doing in Oklahoma. Real estate there is very, very cheap. But they took every HUD home off the market.
Sure.
Then the bubble burst, and we were like,
Yeah, 'cause
okay.
they put refugees from Katrina.
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
Yep.
That's why.
Right.
So we were like, well, that's the Earth, that's the universe telling us to do something different.
Yep.
And this one day, I was doing a temporary job as a contractor for this company that was doing bathtub refinishings for hotels. So I used to travel around and just refinish tubs. And
But you-
I found Amy this job
Yeah.
teaching, and she'd always wanted to teach. Just found it in crazy. And I was like, if you apply to this job, you're going to get it. She specifically said, I'm not going to get this job.
I always say that.
And probably
That's-
harsher
that-
words than that. Like, you're fucking wasting my
Yeah.
time, Chad, or something
F
like
you,
that.
geek.
Yeah, exactly. F you, geek. And then she nailed it. Not only she got the job, she basically climbed all the way up the top of that
Nice.
as far as she could, and
That's cool.
and then
Yeah.
she left that company, and then now she's working for a smaller.
Then what did she did she did?
Climbed up their ladder too,
What's that?
and then I climbed up their ladder
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Now she just oversees the compliance stuff. She doesn't get to do much teaching. She
She did the
that.
stuff for the tests though for a while.
Dealing with
She did-
compliance involves a fair amount of teaching.
Oh, okay, I see.
Sometimes with a bat.
Well, she worked for Kaplan. I think I told
Right,
you. that.
Kaplan,
She
yeah,
worked for
that's- yeah,
Kaplan
that's-
college, which did Kaplan
right.
test prep. Yeah, she didn't do
Yes.
any test prep, but she worked for Kaplan College.
Kaplan, okay.
They just had for-profit college. They did everything. They had,
Yeah.
they had everything from criminal justice. She did this in the criminal justice department then.
Criminal
Got it.
justice, but also
What
I
was that?
started out with
Yeah.
paralegal,
Paralegal.
and
Yeah,
then
that's
the other
weird.
one I
Weird.
did was administration because they had a business BA, like an associate's in BA, and so I taught all of their HR classes, which are all.
Can I-
too.
May I ask
And I taught gen ed,
what
psychology,
her?
English.
So she's a
That's what it
JD.
was.
Is she a
Yeah,
JD
she's
then?
a JD. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she got her
Nice.
law degree. We actually met. I was in the Navy in San
Right.
Diego, and she was in law school in San Diego in her last year.
Oh, she
She'd
can't
just
hear me
come
right now,
back.
right? She can't hear
No,
me
she
though.
can't. Let me see if I.
Well, no, I don't want her to
No,
because
you
I was
don't want
gonna.
to- oh, yeah.
No, because
Yeah,
I was
go ahead.
gonna. I was just gonna say, did she know that you were screwing your, your superior? Maybe.
Does she know that I'm fucking my superior?
Yeah.
What I'm lost and confused.
I'm a lost confused too. I'm trying to figure out what the joke is.
You told me we were talking about the military that you were screwing way back when, and then you got in because of your eyes, and yes, yeah.
Oh yeah. She knows about the supply officer.
Okay.
Yeah, the one's helping me get into the Naval Academy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she knows that story. That was actually, she met me after that, so that was when I was on the ship. So
right.
Half my time was on a ship in Hawaii, not when she was in Hawaii.
Oh wow, okay.
She was in law school. She did law school in San Diego. This is weird, right? So my first command after school was Hawaii. Amy went to law school in San Diego. My second command was San Diego, and Amy was in San Diego finishing law school, but she actually was doing her summer internship at a law firm in Hawaii while I was in the Navy in San Diego. And we met just after she got back from Hawaii. She was this sun-kissed tan. She's tall, blonde. And
it's
she
like
was
a week, maybe.
Yes, she just been home for a week, and she's just super tan. She's been surfing every day. And
sure.
We had met at a bar, like at this bar that I actually used to work the door at, and it's called the Alibi in San Diego. The funny thing,
oh wow,
it said open at 8 a.m.
Yeah, open it. They were open at 8 a.m.
Holy
this bar. I mean,
fuck.
I think it was I
not
wrong, Amy? Didn't it say open 8 a.m. 365? I'm pretty certain because they were open on Christmas Day.
And it was big.
It probably said 8 a.m. till question mark, didn't it?
Oh yeah, because we would be there sometimes 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yep.
After they closed, the guy would be cleaning. The janitor would come in and clean. I would be serving the bartenders drinks.
Yep.
And I was a total ass back then. I was an ass. I don't know how I landed Amy.
Are you? Hey, are you? So are you a big guy? Are you a tall, muscular guy?
I'm not muscular, but when we met, I was.
Okay, well, right, because you're in the military, so that's when you you met her. So yeah, you were all right. Because if you're saying she's a tall, bronze blonde bombshell, then that's okay. That's how she got you. That's how you got her.
And I'm about 6'2", just under 6'2", and
okay.
at the time I was about 215 pounds.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But I was also
you're solid.
I was solid. Now I wasn't all muscled in. I had a belly then, even though I was working out every day at this command. But I'm not much of a belly. I was a pretty big dude. Yeah.
But you're an officer though, right?
No, I was not an officer. I was an enlisted man. I was an engineman. I was going to go. That was that officer. I backed out. I backed out.
Okay.
I got jaded, man. I was an engineman on a naval vessel that was arduous sea duty. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but it was literally, there's something in the Navy called arduous.
Yes, I know the word arduous, but I don't know arduous sea duty, so that's just got to be like hazard pay.
It was not. I did get some extra pay, but it wasn't hazardous pay. It was considered arduous because the command was.
Wait, I got to interrupt you.
It was
very important. Very important. Does Amy have a drink?
Amy does have a drink.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because tell her I would go refill it for her right now. That's what I would do if she needed help.
I will go refill her a drink.
Well, but that's why I interrupted you, though. So I want you to tell her that I would make sure she's.
He told me to make sure that you do have a refilled drink, and I need to stop and get you one in case. So in about in a couple minutes I will. Just 1 second. I'm gonna go out and I gotta use the bathroom like really quick.
All right, then I gotta hear the rest of your story. All right, bye.
Yep.
Amy, put on the headphones. Just kidding.
You said it because I was persistent? Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are made for each other. That's so cool.
Yeah, and we've tempered our relationship, right? We've put it through the stresses and the strains.
Sure. As anybody that's been.
Yeah, right. You've got to make sure that you hate each other and that you can still love each other after you hate each other.
Right.
You know you'll be together forever.
Yeah. Yep.
I got jaded. I got jaded when I was on my boat. I was colorblind and I didn't want to be a grease monkey. That's really all I was. I was a glorified grease monkey, and I have no problem with that. Actually, I love mechanics, but for me, that's just not what I was wanting to do. I am a bit of a geek, and I wanted to do more. Like I went in and I wanted to be a nuke. Like, because
I
was told I got all recruited. You know how the recruiters sauce you up,
of course.
And they were like, oh, I did well in my ASVAB, but I blew my color vision test. I had no idea. I never talked to anybody. The only person that my grandfather already passed away. That's who raised me. He was the military man in my family, so I couldn't talk to him about any of this. I never even told him I was thinking military. I was 15 when he passed. He would have loved it, but I had nobody to talk to tell me like, watch out for this and that. So. I went undesignated. I just went straight undesignated.
Oh, you did, huh? Wow. Yeah. Shaking the dice. Dice roll.
Yeah, I had no idea, man. I was colorblind. I came back. I took the test. They're like, oh yeah, you would have done well, in the nuke, but you're colorblind, so you can't be a nuke. And I was like, oh, that's a bummer. And it's like, what I think you're going to do is, I think your best is you're going to go out there undesignated, blah 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 blah. What I found out later was, I couldn't fill any of the billets that were needed at that moment for him because I was colorblind. Literally, me being colorblind, every billet that was colorblind available was saturated. So this guy was not going to meet any of his quotas. I was just the lowest of the low.
Yep. He just had to stick you in a hole. Patch up.
Oh. I remember walking into the recruiter's office after coming back from the city, after my ASVAB. I was so stoked because I got the results from my ASVAB. I was way up there. I was way up there for my percentile. I was stoked. I thought I was going to get something good. Blah blah blah. He was like, and I could tell he was disappointed. Like I could tell he was disappointed, but I couldn't tell why he was disappointed. His whole act was gone. The car salesman act was gone. I'd already signed up, and and I could tell.
You're already.
I didn't know when. Yeah,
signed the papers.
Then I get to boot camp. I'm sitting on my bunk, and it's literally the fucking one of the actual the division commanders. They educate me to the fact that, oh yeah, dude, you got duped. You're stupid. But he actually told me, he's like, you're smart as fuck. This guy was crazy.
At least he looked at your file.
Yeah, they actually tried to get me to be the RDC, recruit division commander.
Yeah.
The only advice I did get at some point along the line was, don't volunteer for anything. Somebody told me that, and it stuck. Maybe on the bus to boot camp. Maybe it was one of the people in med. I don't know, but. I remember they pulled me up, all of them, and they're trying to find their, somebody that could march and lead, right? And they were pulling all the people up with the good ASVAB scores.
Sure.
And I remember them pulling me up, and they're like, "Do a about face," and I did it too quickly, and they're like, "Okay." And then they asked to be, they're like, "That was too quick," and they said, "So do you want to be the RDC?" And I said, and I didn't take even a second to respond, and I said,
"Sir,
nope.
No, sir."
and we were one of the early on. What were they called? It was the blended. It was the male and female. So I don't know what the word was, but they lived on the floor below us, and we were above them. So we were male, female, and so she was the female. So we had 2 female and 2 male drill instructors. They were called division commanders. It doesn't matter. Drill instructors, right? In the Marines. So she was the meanest of them all. And she actually said he is fucking smart, and told me to go back. And I turned around, I did my about face, and I went away. And I was like, okay, I made a good decision. But yeah, I ended up getting offered Injamin A school at in boot camp. During one of the times that we were going, you go through the processing, you're always getting shots, and you're always going through processing. At some point,
getting your shots both shoulders same time.
Yeah, exactly. They give all those cotton swabs. Yeah, but I remember that they offered me an Injamin A school because they needed a few Injamin at that point in time. A few months later, they gave me a small signing bonus, and I got that school. So I actually finished boot camp, and I wasn't undesignated anymore. I was still in E1. Actually, I really probably could have liked Injamin, but I don't want to say woe is me, but I had some interesting circumstances on that ship. I had a very, 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 very jaded, militant, extremely racist, very dark-skinned black man as my boss for about 18 months. And when I mean racist, he was racist towards black people. I've never met a racist person in my life.
Sure. My goodness.
I'm a kid from Oklahoma, so I had to sit there and just listen to it. Oh man, this kid. I remember this. I was not racist. I'm not a racist person. I appreciate some good Richard Pryor racial humor. I lived in
your best friends,
I moved back and forth from urban areas to rural areas, so I was
sure. So you've been exposed to everything,
Everything, a little bit of everything, and so. But this was that. I'd never been exposed to that.
Wow.
This guy, man. Okay, so this is what jaded me. It kind of broke my spirit a bit. So that's why I think I didn't stay in and I didn't go officer. Because I was going through the processes of doing that, going from what do they call it? From enlisted to officer. But
Well, in the Marines, it's a warrant officer, so you go and you switch.
I could have gone a warrant officer. I was going to actually try to go to the Naval Academy, so I was just going to try to do the full commission thing. But okay, this gives you an example of how much of a bastard he was. You know what a 6-month deployment is for the Navy.
Right.
You know their whole cruises.
Yeah. Yep.
And so we're the night before cruise. Okay. We are. This son of a bitch has us, and 2 of the other people that are working in my division or department at the time. One of them has kids. I didn't. I was very young. This bastard has us doing planned maintenance. I don't know. In the Navy, they call it the PMS system. It's the planned maintenance.
It's the scheduled maintenance.
Exactly.
They usually do that at port,
your
right?
Dailies, weeklies, monthlies, quarterlies, semi-annualies, annualies. Yeah, everything that you could think of on the ship has a scheduled breakdown maintenance, and it's actually a great system. Other than some of it's kind of a fix it till you break it kind of system, but this son of a bitch had us doing all these maintenance things that we could have been doing any other time than the night that we were. That's just one example.
The night before
this
you
guy, the night before we leave.
He was pretending to be a drill instructor, is what he was doing. He was just trying to run your ass. He's just running you.
Kids. He had kids, man. He was the most unhappy. I think he definitely permeated some of his unhappiness into me. Like
did you just say that your commander put his happiness in you? He put his happiness in there.
He permeated his evil
happiness.
Yes, he definitely did, man. He stained me. But no, it's all good. It's all good. There was other things this guy.
You learned from it, obviously.
You didn't learn
everything.
I learned a lot, actually. Yeah, I will say
grew up, but you were wiser because of this now.
Yeah, for sure. And there was definitely things that he taught me, like working this much. I mean, I got qualified I worked in the auxiliary machine room, so I worked in the room where they kept the boilers, the generators, and all that crap, the distilling plants and stuff. So I learned a lot because he was a good teacher, but he was just a son of a bitch. And then I just had to sit there and listen to him talk about, like, I mean, man, he was bad. He was bad, man. He was really racist. More racist than a lot of people that I grew up around. And I grew up around some number of.
I mean, I lived in Detroit. I mean, as an adult, but I guess I've never. Yeah, there's.
He was just a son of a bitch, man. And so there are people like that. Then I've met people
angry at the world.
And I can actually, angry at the world, angry at their own race. When I lived in San Diego, I met plenty of brown people that would like talk about people that were like talk about actual Mexicans. Like Mexican's not a 4-letter word. You live in San Diego, actually Mexican's a word you say with pride. But there are people that are born in America that have Mexican heritage that literally fucking hate people from Mexico. I mean, it's just like the racism to me is just I could go on and on about it. Some of these touchy subjects, but I've been exposed to so much of it, and it's just baffling.
And plus, like living in Hawaii is interesting.
Oh my God! Don't even get us started on Hawaii. Amy just brought up a huge thing.
What?
Hawaai is just a wild.
Person should be required to live in Hawaii.
Yes. Okay, so here, I've talked a lot. Let me go make Amy a drink.
Yeah, go get Amy
Amy's going to tell you a story about when she's going to tell you a story about when she was a summer intern working at that law firm, and she gets invited by another one of the interns who's a local. They're called locals in Hawaii,
right?
Polynesian, basically, and that was invited to a local party, and she goes with this local girl to a party. And I'll let Amy tell you, and she'll put this headset down here. She'll be able to hear you. You might be able to. If it's sitting here, you should be able to hear it.
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I think I can hear you. That's so
Mrs. Geek, you're the best. You're the best for putting up with Geekstar. And I'll tell you what, he loves you more than you know. He talks about you so much when you're not around. Good. That's all. Okay.
All right, I'm making you a drink. What kind of drink do you want? A tea?
Yeah. Do we have how much?
We got. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have very much tea because I heard somebody spilled it.
It busted. Yeah. So I was saying I think every white person should be required to live in Hawaii for like, I don't know, 3 months maybe might be healthy. Like just long enough to force you to like, interact in local circles, beyond being a tourist.
It's interesting because I have a couple of friends that are Hawaiian and grew up and lived there and then have been to the U.S., but I want to hear your take on this.
Well, I do think that it's a completely different world between Oahu and the other islands.
The big, right, yes, the big island. Yeah.
I think that Oahu is just run with tourists, and people like me that came in and took one of the very few lucrative jobs, on
right.
the island, and don't have roots there and didn't intend to stay there, and they've been horribly mistreated for God,
right.
however long since. I mean, my law firm is beautiful. One of those places that I never even thought I'd have the chance to work at, and so I jumped at the opportunity to
right.
work there.
Right.
And so I was on the 19th floor, and my window overlooked Ilokai Palace, which is where us white people imprisoned their queen.
Right. Yes. I don't know a lot of history about that, but I do know. Wow.
Yeah. I always wondered. I was like, is this on purpose? Did somebody think this was terribly ironic?
Yeah. Sit here and look at this. Look at this shit. Oh my gosh.
Hopefully she'll figure out the symbolism. No. Anyway. But that wasn't the story I was supposed to be telling you.
You can tell. I wish you were telling him a good story. That's good.
I think that's why, right? I mean, there's so many reasons why, but I think that, another reason why I don't think they're 50th anymore, but they were for the longest time, like the school, right?
Right.
Their school, as far as rank in the public school ranking in the country, it's horribly bad. And it's because so many, of the local people are extremely poor there, and they just live in ultimate poverty while they, serve these super ultra rich people. And
is it like the disparity of classes? There's not a lot of middle class, right? I mean, it's either
correct, yes.
In general, quote unquote, lower class, and right.
Yeah, it's stark, and and it's all the people who've come and taken their land and imprisoned them, that are the ultra wealthy, and they're the ones serving them, and so I totally understand where it comes from. But you feel the rage, for me, the audacity of me. A white blonde lady, young girl,
and tall,
and
where the native are heavier set and shorter, and I bet.
Sure,
gosh.
But anyway, the anger was.
I bet they look.
Oh
my goodness!
Circles,
look at you! Look at you in a different light than.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
You really start to notice very keenly the micro discrimination, and. Because it's something that you
so in your eyes, a reverse discrimination from what we would be accustomed to.
Well, sure, except for there, exactly. That's the norm. That is the norm. If you live there, you're a haole, and everybody calls you that, and that is a 4-letter word. But they're perfectly fine doing. That's
everybody says it.
Everybody calls you haole.
Howleys call people howleys. It really is like the words that we're not supposed to say, but everybody says it there. One of these days they won't, right? In 100 years they probably won't.
Yeah, I mean, Chad can tell you a story about being punched through a car window by a guy just for being in a drive-through, and having the audacity to be white in that neighborhood, And
you don't know that. Like you said,
I was in the military. Multiple fights. I got a fight in Maui.
Yeah.
I got almost got my jaw completely broken off my face by a big Samoan, which I love Samoans. One of my favorite peoples in the world was Samoan. But this big Samoan dude comes lumbering across the parking lot, had jumped out of his SUV while we're in the Taco Bell drive-thru because he said we flipped him off. I didn't see this guy until he's walking across the parking lot, and this guy is huge. I still remember.
And
he walks up, and I'm just kind of like, what is going on? And then he just punches me
blindside
as I'm sitting down. So I couldn't even all that moment, all that. I took the punch. I'll take that. I took this big dude's punch, setting down.
Because you don't fight back in that type of situation.
Oh no, I rolled the window.
I said, did you roll out the window and just kind of pull on out?
In the car.
Yeah, and it's you, the minority there, so
everybody's
on his side, so that's just kind of how it is. Like I said, even with the micro discrimination, the story that he wanted me to tell you was, there's another, same level colleague as mine, so she's just a summer associate like me. We're in law school, doing our summer there, and she had lived there, and so she knows all these people. So she invited me to a local party because she wanted to show me around. I didn't know anybody, whatever. She was trying to make me feel welcome and comfortable, yeah, like I had this like group of people just come and like stand like where I was sitting, just like stand around me, like stand up, kind of like with their arms folded.
Yeah.
And then one of them was just like, "You're not welcome here. Like you
Oh.
shouldn't be here."
What about the other? What about the other girl? I mean, was she
It was
Caucasian
dude,
too?
yeah.
Did he get aggressive?
Oh no, I was the only white person there.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh.
But at that
Wow.
point, like that was early on. Like I didn't even realize that was gonna, like if it would have been.
Sure, you're naive to all that. Why would you?
I would have maybe, I don't know, just at least been cognizant walking into the situation that was going to happen.
Right.
That was like jaw dropping.
Yeah.
And I was scared because it was like Chad was saying, it was a dude that said
Right.
that to me, that I was, not
Yeah.
welcome there. And it felt very
crap.
intimidating. Like all these
bet.
people were standing up around me in a semicircle with their arms folded, like telling me to leave.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and it wasn't
even
girls;
though their
it was
friend,
guys. Right.
Had, encouraged me, drove me there, like everything.
Right. Huh.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
Wow, and you don't even get that. I was telling Geek. I mean, I lived not in Detroit, but I lived on 7 Mile, just outside of Detroit, and worked in 4 Mile in Detroit area for about a year and a half, and even then, like the story you just told me, nothing like that's ever happened. But I've gone with my buddies, and we've gone to bars, and it's mostly, pretty much, I was the only white guy and my buddy, and mostly African American. But I mean, you were kind of keeping an eye out, but nobody has ever come up and done something like that,
Yeah,
especially
and
to you as a woman, and not
Yeah.
that woman, but a guy to a woman, that's pretty intimidating.
It was intimidating, yeah, and I don't know, but the whole experience of living there, like I enjoyed it.
Wow.
I enjoyed living there, but I was ready to go.
But you got wiser to the world.
The nicest people in the world as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Stark difference between Oahu, where I think it's just overridden with tourists and
Sure.
you
Well,
know,
also,
like I said, and then the outer islands where we did not encounter that at all. We encountered exactly the opposite from locals. In fact, Chad and I were so used to at a certain point, just like, okay, keeping to yourself, not making eye contact, like
Right,
going
right.
over in the corner, like, making sure you're not gonna, cause any ruckus just by being there.
Sure.
And
Jesus.
so we go into like a pool hall where we're like, I think on Kauai on vacation, and directly across the street from our hotel is like a little pool hall. And so we go in there, and I think we ordered some beer.
Yeah, we got some billiards. It was a rent by the hour place.
Yep.
Sure,
And
sure.
so we started playing, and some locals come in and start playing, and so we kind of go off in our corner, don't make eye contact.
Right.
We're kind of
Do your
going,
own thing.
Gosh, what's going to happen here?
Because one of them walks up to us.
And they walk straight up to us, and I think both of our hearts are pounding.
Well, I thought I was like, okay, I guess I have to
all right,
fight now.
Hang on to that pool stick. Get ready.
And they're like, here, come have a beer with us. Like, I mean, they were the nicest people. Like, and that, to us at that time, we were just like dumbfounded. We didn't even hardly know what to say because it had been, a few years of exactly
opposite.
That.
Wow.
But I think that, Kauai is, there's just not a lot of humans there, thank goodness.
People hitchhike there. It's gorgeous there. It's the best place. I love that place.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they are probably just not around that same, like, steaming stew pot, that causes.
Sure. And, it's not crossing the water and getting to them.
Because it's a completely different thing. Like, here, we discriminate against, like, people who are disadvantaged, whereas, like, their discrimination and hatred is, like, against, the advantage. Like, to me, that's
right.
Kind of understand. Like, it's kind of understandable. It kind of feels really shitty, but it's totally understandable. And I think it really does help you be a little bit more perceptive, like, when you leave the islands about, like, okay, maybe, you perceive more, you're a little more careful,
right.
after going through that type of experience.
That's an education. Holy shit.
Yeah. Hey, it's really, really, really cool to have the opportunity to chat with you because Chad talks about you all the. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say his name. Maybe I'm.
Well, he always slips up. He's and he doesn't know what I told you, and you don't have to tell him. You don't have to tell him anything that I said, but what I said, I meant what he is.
So sweet.
He he talks about you. We talk about our lives, and he's a good person. I'm a good person too, so we don't talk bad. We talk guy talk, but he just talks how
Aw.
you let him play games at his age, and you tolerate him. But he loves you to death. My God, you're a
Aw,
good
I'm so
person.
glad
You're a
to
good
hear
person.
that. That's so good. Thank you for saying that.
Well,
That
that's
makes
true.
my Christmas. It really
Well,
does. He was in a sad mood earlier, and I told him, I said,
he
please, all I
can't
want
be.
for Christmas is a happy chatty.
He Well, the closet
So
dweller, you got to get him out a little bit. You got to force him out of it, which out of his comfort zone, and he knows he needs it too. That's why I wish he was closer. I'd just come over there and get him out, get his ass out, and that'll make him, if nothing else, would put him on edge, which would make him
yeah.
not be sad.
Well, it's really awesome that he has a great friend like you.
Ah,
I think that it's
Mrs. Geek, I appreciate it.
super important. So
Yeah.
I feel pretty lucky that you seem like a really great guy.
You should hear him talk when
Thanks.
you're not around now.
Well, I told you that. I told you that.
Right?
He's a disgusting
Okay.
man.
I understand testosterone. I don't understand it, but I do understand it.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem, Mrs. Geek, is that Geekstar is such a good. He's a very very good player. He's not a top player, but from 1 to 10, he's a solid 7.5, 8.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
and
How's that drink?
and I have to pretend to be cooler and better than him because I'm about a 4, and so I got to talk a lot of shit and make him laugh. So because he carries me through the games, and you can tell him, say, hey Rod, that said you carry him all the time, and he'll tell you he does.
I will. I'll make sure to
He
bring
carries
that
me.
up in a key moment. He'll appreciate it.
There's so much snow out there.
I know. We're getting dumped on. Chad's looking out the window with eyes
we had
bugging out.
we didn't get the storm. We are supposed to get 5 to 9 inches. We only got 2 inches, but the temperature is 25 below zero right now.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Wind chill. Sorry, I think regular temperature is probably 5.
Ooh,
That's terrible.
goodness.
It's terrible. I don't
All
know.
right, I'm gonna hand back again. It was
Sounds
a
good.
pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Big
It was all mine.
Christmas surprise. I had no idea I was gonna have the and then the things that you said. You gave me another big Christmas smile and truly those are the things that you don't get to hear from
You don't,
your
right? Yeah.
significant other. I mean, it means something, when you hear somebody say that who knows that person really, really, really well.
Well, yeah.
So.
And I have nothing to gain by telling you. So,
Right.
right? There's no ulterior motive. So,
Yeah,
but it's true. It was great. I appreciate you talking with me and Geek
Yeah.
letting me talk.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
I can relay any messages. I even had the mic sitting over here next to her.
And your wife is so cool.
Isn't she?
She's
cool.
yeah, super cool.
Yeah, we've kind of been because we moved. We did the whole Hawaii thing, right? And so
Right.
our family's all out in Oregon, and my family's mostly around
Oh.
Texas and stuff. So
Right.
We we've kind of lived in places away from all of them: California, Hawaii,
Sure.
Texas, and Pennsylvania. And so we've kind of been on our own. So it's just kind of been the two of us, and we don't have children, so just two
Right.
of us and our pets.
But you have to. It does one of two things. It either builds the foundation and the relationship stronger, or the opposite. And obviously, you guys, it works. I mean, obviously, you either choose to not have kids or you can't have kids. It doesn't matter. That's not the conversation. But kids bring a different dynamic to a family, where it helps create some separation because when you're married and you don't have kids and you're married for a long period of time and don't have kids, even if that's what your choice is or not, you can grate on each other. I mean,
Yeah.
I learned a lot of that since my kids
yeah.
have been gone, and especially when I had the furlough and the wife had the furlough. So I mean, we were home for almost 3 months together, day in and day out, and it was a absolute pleasure to have some time with you. And again, I'm kind of the same as you. Although I am more of an outward person, but we don't have a lot of friends because friends are a lot of work. you have to please other people, and it's like wife and I are kind of selfish that way. We probably got 5 or 6 people we're friends with, but you have to be a good person.
Yeah.
You have to be a good person to be able to survive and keep your relationship going. So you and Mrs. Geek are great. It's fantastic.
It's been work, but we've
of course. I mean I've
through like we've because you guys have been together. So you said was it 40, 30, 30?
30 years. Yeah, we've been together 30 years. We were separated for 8 months, and ups and downs.
We've definitely had our moments where we were talking about doing things like that. We've definitely had our like you were just like but I don't think relationships last for 20 or 30 years. I don't think anybody can have a 20 or 30-year relationship and not get to the point of like fuck you and literally.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't that, but it was. Yeah, you get tired, but you know what? In the end, you know the way I talk. I'm pretty straightforward, pretty open. Sometimes too straightforward, but nothing that I've ever said to you, good, bad, or gross, that I wouldn't say without to my wife sitting here next to me. If she was, and she's kind of like, yeah, Mrs. Geek understands me, and good, bad, or indifferent. So, but not too many of us have the wife.
Like, no, my wifey has actually done that.
But she has, but that's okay.
She still loves me. Sometimes you just gotta get. I tell her she just has to get her rage out, and it's like if you gotta get your rage out, just give it to this guy right here. I
don't think you say that.
No?
No, that's not.
I'm just making myself look good, right?
In the moment, you just stand there looking horrified.
But you take it though. But Geek, you take it. You just sit and take it though. I can see you.
Yeah. I do. Sorry. Oh yeah, I definitely. I do. I do. Sometimes I.
Well, because he knows he deserves it.
Yeah, I usually do deserve it. Pretty much 98% of the time. 2% of the time I don't deserve it. Okay, there's a couple times there that I didn't out of the 100 times. There's a couple times. Okay,
you got 1,000 times. Now wait a minute. Do I need to be a counselor here or what?
He's saying this you need to be a counselor. I love my wife. And this year, man, it's been.
I'll tell you.
I haven't asked how you've been. How is your shoulder doing? I haven't asked you in probably 6 months. You've been rehabbing for over a year now, so
I'm good. I'm as good as I would be at my age. So I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I'm good to go. And
nice.
I assume.
Do you still do exercises?
Fuck no.
To kind of maintain. No, you're
Fuck
just,
no.
Because I remember you were just like, I'm gonna get through these reps and I'm done.
Yep.
So both shoulders are done.
Both shoulders are done. That's it. Yep.
Well, you want to run a little one here?
Oh, I think if I don't want Mrs. Geek to feel actually. Okay, and I'll stream it and she can watch that if she's still hanging out with you. But I think because I think my kids.
I know what I can do if she doesn't care. Amy, do you mind if I? This will also. I want to give the stream. I want to put. Can I stream the us playing downstairs on the TV? I can say I love you. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Oh, you're gonna
go.
I'm
gonna put you on my TV downstairs because she's.
What does that mean?
Downstairs making cookies. Well, you said you're gonna.
Okay, so then she can hear in the background.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we've been playing Christmas music on the TV down there all day. So.
Oh, but okay, can she? Just wait though. We're gonna. This is the party night.
Amy,
just I have.
Amy could say whatever you want.
Well, I really don't. I don't.
Ignoring us.
I'm just. The music choices are going to be really weird. But I added some more. I have 42 songs on our gaming playlist. So. All right.
I'm streaming it.
I'm gonna go fill up.
And
my
then
drinks.
When I go down and I die, I can go downstairs and watch the stream and then right up here. So I am going to. So whenever you stream, just should pop up on my phone. I'll go down.
All right, I'm gonna do that right now and here. All right. That's funny. Guess I've been streaming the whole time. No, maybe not.